LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Marvin Williams picked by Giannis, and then a quick ball.
For basketball players, no dream is bigger than getting to play in the NBA. It's one of the only dreams most upcoming players have, but it doesn't mean ballers on that level are no longer allowed to make mistakes. They're still human after all. Now, if you're a young basketball player who's watching this at home and thinking there's no way you can ever measure up to your idols in the NBA, this video is for you. Because today, we're taking a look at some of the most popular NBA players and their most embarrassing moments. But before that, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First, we start with that time that Stephen Curry broke his own ankle and proceeded to launch an air ball. It would have been the picture-perfect fast break. It was late in the third frame and the Golden State was trying to pull the Lakers into an even deeper deficit. So Curry had one of his signature steals and rushed to the other side of the court, all alone to shoot his shot however he wants. Except he slipped. Now again, he was all alone, but still lost control of the ball. Iguodala tried to bail him out with a pretty solid assist, but Curry still missed from the arc, and missed by a mile. Next is that time James Harden made Josh Hart go, "What did I just see?" During the second quarter of a Rockets-Pelicans game, the ref sounded a whistle just as the Beard was trying to shake off the close defense of Josh Hart. This frustrated Harden to no end, and he decided to take out his frustration on the innocent basketball. But, as they say, what goes around comes back around. As he slammed the basketball hard against the hardwood, it bounced right back and hit him in the chin. Harden later on said that his infamous beard saved him from pain, but Hart's reaction is much too precious to ignore. When Giannis Antetokounmpo missed a breakaway highlight dunk. Well, we think the Greek freak got a bit too tired of dominating in the NBA top 10 plays and so decided he wanted to appear in something else that week. Maybe a Fool's top 10? During the first quarter of a game between Milwaukee Bucks and Charlotte Hornets, Giannis was able to steal the ball from Marvin Williams and ran as fast as he could for an uncontested windmill dunk. All the cameras zoomed in perfectly to capture the highlight, but all we ever got to see was the ball bouncing off the top of the ring. This must be still making this MVP cringe to this day. Next is a Bradley Beal flop that gave all of us the best meme material to ever come out of the NBA, possibly ever. The Washington Wizards forward was desperate to hear a whistle, so he decided to fish an offensive foul from the Celtics baller, Al Horford. The thing is, it was the most awkward, obvious, and obnoxious flop we have ever seen in years. Surprisingly, the refs thought it was convincing enough and called the foul on Horford. But if you think Beal got away with it, then you should see the Bradley Beal Dolphin flop memes making their way across the world shortly after. That time, Stephen Curry redeemed himself at the expense of Rudy Gobert. It was Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between Utah and Golden State, but Curry wasn't taking anything slow. On a particularly complicated drive all the way to the basket, he gave poor Gobert such a hard time that he started to look like a seal trying to evade a shark. But it was a good hustle on the defense, so we all decided to honor Gobert. By way of, you guessed it, memes. Next is that time Anthony Davis was bullied. It's not every day you see a 6' and 11" man getting bullied, but I guess that's what you get for messing around with 7-footers, right? LA Clippers center Boban Marjanovic had a little fun keeping the ball out of the Pelicans' hands during a lull in their game. Davis tried twice to swat the ball away from Boban's unmoving hands to no success. It was all in good fun though, as the two were seen sharing a laugh after the hilarious moment. Next is when Klay Thompson put too much faith in Stephen Curry that he missed the extra pass. The commentator was right on point when he said that sometimes too much unselfishness can end up hurting the team. Take a look at how open Steph was for the three-point shot that Klay thought he was going to sink for sure. While Thompson was already getting his swag on, Curry made that extra pass and it was not received well, or was not received at all, really. See, even the pros make mistakes. That time, Joe Embiid missed 3 dunks all in one game. This less than stellar play has been one of the most talked about Shaqtin' a Fool nominees in recent years. Yeah, it's really hard to trust the process when it results in 3 missed dunks. When Paul George got ejected for hurting his own fan. It's sort of a milestone for any legitimate NBA player to get ejected. Even just once, it's usually a testament to one's passion while playing the game. But PG's ejection was one of a kind, and I think to this day he's still kicking himself internally for what happened. It was back in 2016 on the third quarter of a Pacers-Bulls matchup. The ball was knocked out of bounds and a fan in the stands hit it back to the court. To release some pent-up frustration, George kicked the ball and it bounced right back to hit his own fan in the face. Wow, how aggressive! PG was quick to apologize, but there's no way he could have evaded ejection after that blunder. Kyrie Irving does a magnificent finger roll and completely misses the basket. The next play might not make it to the most legendary NBA plays of all anytime soon, but it did make the players from both the Cavs and the Bucks benches roll on the floor laughing. Even Irving had a hearty laugh after his shot went straight up to the top of the board and rolled to the back, resulting in a shabby turnover. Next is the time that Damian Lillard put a whole new meaning into the term garbage time. You know, one of the best feelings in the world for a basketball player is when the win is already in the bag, and you've still got possession, so you get to dribble the time away. It's a highlight moment on its own, when you know all the cameras and eyes are fixated on you and recounting all the moments that led to your imminent win. But I guess Lillard got a little too excited thinking about that, so much so that he fumbled the ball out of bounds with just a little over a second left in Portland's game against the Magic. Safe to say it was an anticlimactic turnover to end the match. Next we have when Karl Anthony Towns went to town and missed an easy layup. You don't earn the epic nickname Catmandu by missing too many layups, and Karl Anthony Towns knows that. Well, most of the time, but there was this one time when he disappointed everyone who awarded him the nickname by missing a wide-open Euro-step layup against the Clippers. It was a 5-point ball game at the time, and that shot could have put the Timberwolves within one possession. But Towns decided to get fancy and completely came up short, when Kevin Durant got dunked on 3 times in one half. There are a few things more humiliating than missing 3 dunks in one game, and that's getting dunked on 3 times in just one half. KD, bless his heart, had this horrible experience playing against the Lakers, and unfortunately, a retired Black Mamba, rest in peace, was there on the sidelines to watch him suffer. Can you imagine being one of the most talked about players in the NBA and being made look like a little fool? Next is when Russell Westbrook forgot that he had to dribble. Westbrook must have been so good at playing ball that his grade school coach allowed him to skip the first few trainings. But, Russ, in case you didn't know, you can't walk 2 steps without dribbling the ball even once, let alone take 5 steps without a single dribble. You can't put a price on the look his former teammate's face made as he made his costly mistake. It did give the commentators and all of us a good hearty laugh, though. When Luka Doncic wasn't given the usual freshman welcome. It's never easy to post defense on one of the league's best 3-point shooters, and Doncic the rookie learned this the hard way. Brooklyn's Joe Harris gave him the rather unsettling and ankle-breaker dive, and down he went. The poor freshie had to limp his way back to their offensive end after suffering through the arena's thunderous applause as Harris took that easy 2 against him. Do you remember when Kawhi Leonard wasted a perfect pass from Kyle Anderson? You don't? Well, I assure you, Kawhi has not forgotten. We still think that he wakes in cold sweats remembering this play and the verbal beating he got from Coach Pop after he missed this wide-open drop. Next is when Kemba Walker shimmied about 3 seconds too early. One golden unwritten rule in sports is not to celebrate until the whistle blows and the point has been awarded to you. Well, Kemba Walker must have forgotten about this rule when he shimmied and rolled his shoulders to celebrate a 3-pointer he just almost made. He looked back and had a laugh about it later, but really he must have been misled when the entire arena went wild after his shot. Little did he know everyone was groaning in pain, not cheering in jubilation. Next is when Donovan Mitchell set himself up for a solo player alley-oop and failed miserably. One of the highlight plays you can do when you have the basket all to yourself is a self alley-oop, but I guess Mitchell didn't have much practice with that, seeing how this play turned out. Something that seems too simple, but obviously isn't. What about when Ben Simmons disappointed himself, his team, and basically everyone watching him at home court? It's always good to make a show-stopping play in the building right in your home city. And we know that honestly was what Simmons was trying to do. But when he failed to score off this emphatic dunk attempt, everyone in the audience groaned, shut their eyes, and scratched their heads. Not the best present for the people who came there to watch you win, Benny boy. That time, Andre Drummond launched 2 air balls from the charity line. When it's the 4th quarter and your team's all tied up against the Bulls, you really got to make the most of your every trip to the line. Drummond must have felt a bit too pressured though, which is why his first free throw attempt was a short air ball. Alright, no problem. Shake it off and sink the other one. Props to him, he did adjust, and his second attempt barely touched the net. I mean, Andre, you good? And lastly, we have the king himself, LeBron James, walking the dog for far too long. Okay, a little bit of advice, LBJ. And Westbrook, better join the huddle for this one. When you're crossing the court, you have to do a dribble at least once. You might not get called for traveling, but if you let that basketball do its own thing for an extended period of time, it will stop bouncing and will start rolling out of your reach. Well, if you didn't know, now you do. You would think LeBron would be a little more conscious. So, as you have seen, even the pros make mistakes, and sometimes these mistakes are so big they jeopardize the final outcome of the game. So, never give up on your dreams, because no one's perfect. Thanks for watching.